It's freezing here. The blizzard's so fierce. The power from the Trailblaze path isn't enough to stop the cold.
It means that we're getting closer to the Stellaron, and the heart of the Eternal Freeze.
What is this? It's scary.
It's like an insect trapped in amber.
I bet the Antimatter Legion forces never thought they'd be swallowed up by the Eternal Freeze when they invaded this world. Even in the ice, could these guys still be alive? I'm impressed you can still think up jokes right now.
Did the architects build this?
Does it look like the palm of a huge hand to you?
No. Do not resist, Bronyia. Accept the common will.
No! I don't want this.
Look upon their promised future, Bronyia! A world without poverty, without cold, without suffering. A world where people no longer have to pray like prisoners for survival. A world that we can guard for all eternity. 700 years ago, we tried and fought unceasingly, believing that the radiance of human nature could shepherd us towards rejuvenation. And to what end? A crushing defeat. Why, when faced with irrefutable strength, is our first thought always to resist, to cover our ears instead of hearing the call? It is the conceit and cowardice entrenched in the depths of human nature, so difficult to efface. Cast them aside. Break free of the chains that bind you. The Stellaron will lead humanity to evolve, and they will.
Your brainwashing ends here, you witch!
Sela?
You came. I thought the blizzards had entombed you.
You wish! We're not going down before you do! Bronyia! I don't know what happened between you and them. Even if you explained it to me, I probably wouldn't understand all the crazy details. But there are two things I do know. One, these guys have come through hell to get here, to seal this Stellaron thing. And two, do you remember what I said? If anything happened to you, I'd save you. Do you understand? Even if the damage is done, even if you've completely forgotten our promise, then I'm just gonna have to knock you out and bring you back myself!
Sela. All of you.
Finished? I think I've given you long enough to bid farewell. It's time I told you my other reason for bringing you here, Brownie. I want to witness your choice. I have told you all the truths there are to tell. The deal with the Stellaron, the wish I made to it. There are no more secrets between us. Many years ago, the voice of the Stellaron sounded in my ears for the first time. I was no different from the previous generations of Guardians. I withdrew, refused to hear. I was as you are now, bitterly defending the Architect's so-called preservation. My conviction was once steadfast, unparalleled. Until a sudden change arrived and threw everything into chaos. Another choice appeared before me. A subversion of the old order, and the welcoming of a new world. And compared to the illusory, ever more distant preservation. This was so tangible. I have agonized, long agonized over how to convey all this to you. Inevitably, the promised tomorrow will transpire. But if you were not there beside me to watch over that new world, then I would descend into torment. Branya. Enduring torment. Perhaps I should be thanking you, outsiders. The pressure you have imposed has at long last compelled me to confront my final weakness. Branya, throughout your life, I have never forced you to submit to my will. You have always, will always have a choice. As then, so now. Choose, my daughter.
Madame Wokoolia, I am grateful to you for raising me and for allowing me the privilege of choice. But I am sorry, Mother. On this, our final occasion, I cannot stand with you. You say that conceit and cowardice lie in the depths of human nature. Perhaps you're right. Desperation sheds a light on the darkest recesses of the heart. What about those simply struggling for survival, fighting for something better? I've witnessed their light on the front lines, in the underworld, in places you have overlooked. Our ancestors built this city, striving in the bitter snow to prolong our civilization. Even if this world is doomed to fall apart, we should allow humanity to pave the way to its final outcome. Not hand over our fate to the seed of ruin. We are guardians, Mother, chosen from among the masses. Our duty is to preserve the world built by humanity. We are not gods. We are not arbiters. You seek to crush human nature underfoot while masquerading as an arbiter and a god. I cannot let you.
So, this is your choice. I understand, Branya. Pity. Such a pity that you will never see that resplendent world. Unable to free yourself from the shackles of your mind. You know what? You were supposed to be the mother of the new world.
The ground! It's shaking! What's happening?
That sign.
The fate of this city, of Belobog, is sealed. Its future will unfold in our hands. And you will become the foundation of the new world. You must break the old to build the new. The Supreme Guardian commands you! Rise, engine of creation!
It's one of the architect's ancient machines! Watch out, all of you! This robot's 1,000 times bigger than Sfaraug!
Engine, break them!
We have to stop it!
Please! To oblivion!
How can we bring a giant like this down?
Hello? Can you hear me? Because the signal's terrible.
Himeko! You finally spared a thought for us.
What are you talking about? Weldon, I've been up on the and you the time. You've got quite the trailblazing edition on your hands. So, how did that guy work? Or, importantly, how do you stop him from working? Over to you guys, I guess.
I'll cover you!
Grab hold of me!
Behold, the power granted by them! Listen to the power surge! Sing! The Stellaron's promise is the only hope for this world. Just as it dispelled the Antimatter Legion 700 years ago, so too will it wipe you from the face of this world!
Stay alert. How about this?
Humanity, so weak and foolish, always overestimating their abilities. Let me bestow upon you despair!
Is this the universe? But I was fighting Cookoliya. Why am I here? The last time I came here, I drew Nanook's gaze. Could it be?
The commercial district has fallen. We've transferred the residents to the outer municipal districts for the time being. The garrison lost 26 fighters. But I'm not sure that they're dead. I saw their broken figures lingering in the fragmentum. What happened back there defied all reason. It was madness. Madam Guardian, if this continues...
I know well the consequences, Gepard. You may leave.
We know well the consequences.
Why do you hesitate, Cookoliya? Isn't this what you've always been hoping for? Get out of this cage and take a look at the city. What is there to lose? The efforts of our predecessors, their unfinished research. We can finally see them come to fruition. Give me some soldiers and I'll locate the Stellaron and find out how to save our world.
You need to come to your senses, Serval.
Come to my senses? What are you—
Guards! Miss Serval is tired. Take her to rest. Sequester her lab and detain the researchers. Their work is illegal.
Why, Cookoliya? Why have you grown so cold?
Serval Landau, you were my most cherished friend.
There is no place nor place promised you world.
Madam Kookolya, the monsters are surging this way. It's too dangerous here.
Foolish. Weak.
What? Madam, what are you saying?
Only I can understand. They have eyes that do not see, ears that do not hear. Feast on their willful ignorance! Absolve them of their stupidity and fear!
The city is drowning in tears. The power of the preservation is fading. We could not defy the will of the Stellaron after all. Yes, but we have no right to judge. The Fragmentum had been expanding for the past 700 years. There is no faith nor wealth left for our successors. Only despair. To see the home we vowed to preserve wither away. That in itself is torture. Not to mention the haunting whisper of temptation. The day will come when even the strongest of wills cannot help but give in to such influence. It is only a matter of time before the Amber Lord forsakes us. You are but a stranger to us. And yet you seek to bond your destiny to ours. So be it. What is there to lose when so much has already been lost? Touch the light of the Amber, Trailblazer. See if your will can attract their gaze.
Can't be.
The will of preservation has made its choice.
You know nothing of the plight of this world. Nothing of the wait for its final end.
Even if we are doomed to destruction, we will go bravely, walking hand in hand into the darkness.
No, that end won't come to pass while we're around.
A brave new world.
Stay alert.
Get ready to be crushed. Time for the old world to collapse.
Lance ablaze. Lance! Forward!
The power of the Stellaron is with me! You are but cinders of the old world, soon to become ashes! Translates into hope! Engulf the past! Power translates into hope!
Lamps ablaze! Lance! Forward!
The only redemption. Power translates into hope!
Lance at the ready.
They deceived me. The Stellaron promised us the future. It will engulf everything!
Mother,
It's over.
Mother, did you wake up from that dream?
wow. That was a tough trailblazing expedition. We made it! But, what are we gonna do with the Stellaron? It's usually Mr. Yang who handles it.
I've informed Himiko and Mr. Yang already. They'll seal the Stellaron.
Nice! The crisis on this world is basically over, right?
The storm still rages on. Now that the Stellaron is sealed, the eternal freeze will slowly recede. Fragmentum won't aggressively expand anymore, but nor will it disappear. Urilo 6 has a chance to return to life, but it will take time. It will depend on the efforts of the people here.
Thank you. All of you. Thank you. I'm fine. Don't worry. There is still much to do. The people will have felt the effects of the engine of creation. There are so many questions to answer, so many truths to reveal. I don't know whether I can get the people to accept all this. You mean use a lie to conceal a lie? But if I do that, then...
You have to, Bronyia.
Sila...
I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think there's any other way. In the underworld, we tell the kids, things will be better tomorrow. Everyone knows it's a lie, but it gets them to sleep with some hope. Can you imagine the consequences if we told the people what happened here? They'd be devastated. If we can't trust the Guardians, who or what can we trust?
Mother died to preserve Belobog.
What?
The visitors from beyond the sky told her the secret of the Stellaron. She knew that Alyssa Rand, the first Supreme Guardian, had failed to destroy it. And yet, she decided to challenge its power, a power beyond human comprehension. Supreme Guardian Wokoolia sacrificed herself to dispel the dark clouds enveloping this city. From here on out, that's the truth the world will hear. What do you think?
It keeps the hope of preservation alive, at least.
It's logical, and hard to disprove.
Why do we have to lie? I'm abstaining. I like telling the truth. But I get what you're trying to do.
For many people, Mother was an outstanding guardian. The whole truth will live on in my mind. All the mistakes, madness, evil, dreams therein. I will be the one to carry that burden. Now, I must take over the duties of the Supreme Guardian and discard my naive fantasies. I'm sorry, Sila. Please, protect this secret with me till the end of our lives.
Say no more. I know what to do.
Thank you. Well then, as promised, let's start rebuilding the bridge between the overworld and the underworld.
So, wanna tell us what happened back there? Don't think you can just reappear on the battlefield with a cool weapon in your hands and skip the story. You drew the Amber Lord's gaze? Right at that moment? That's too much of a coincidence.
He probably doesn't know what happened either. This wouldn't be the first time. Something similar happened when we faced the Doomsday Beast on the space station. Remember that glance from Nanook? Originally, we thought it was because the Stellaron was linked to the destruction. But now it seems to be more than that. We might need to speak with Mr. Yang to understand what's going on. Let's focus on the business at hand first. We shouldn't disrupt Himiko and Mr. Yang while they're dealing with the Stellaron. Let's talk once we're back on the Express.
You're right. We need to finish what we started. Let's hurry up and find Natasha. Natasha! Oleg! Hope you didn't have to wait too long.
Oh, it's them.
You kids move fast. By the look on your faces, I assume you come bearing good news?
The Supreme Guardian sacrificed herself to seal the Stellaron. We were there at the fight. We witnessed everything.
Sacrificed herself, huh? Sure, yeah, that's the whole story.
Wokoolia, in order to save Belobog, she... I see.
So the massive tremors we felt earlier were a result of the battle, right?
Thank you. I can't even imagine what you've been through up there. I'm just glad everything turned out all right. What about Sila?
Don't worry, she's all right. It took a big toll on Bronyia, so Sila took her over to the guards.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're all okay.
Now that Kookolia's no more, I guess our Silvermane girl is about to become the next Supreme Guardian? She sees things through and doesn't go back on her word. The underworld will thrive again under her watch.
Oh, we brought you a message from Bronyia. The blockade will soon be lifted. The people of the underworld will breathe freely.
Breathe freely. That's been our wish all along.
You have visitors, Clara.
Oh, it's the variables. There was a huge shaking just now coming up through the ground. Mr. Sfarag said it must have been...
Recalculating. Conclusion. Engine of creation. 97.66% probability. The engine of creation was an immense construction machine created by the architects. It was not built to fight.
Well, whatever. We won. Thanks to that giant robot, we were finally able to take care of the Stellaron. and Branya made a promise. The underworld and the overworld will soon be reunited. Which means that you, Sfaraug, you won't have to worry about preserving the underworld for the time being.
March, everyone, thank you so much. I wasn't sure you guys would be able to do it, but now, Mr. Sfaraug, what do you say? You guys said you were travelers from other worlds, right? I want to be just like you. One day, I'm gonna go traveling to faraway places and make new friends.
Calculation result. Update. Mission number 0001. Preserve the underworld. Complete.
Whoa! Look at the big blue ceiling!
That's not a ceiling, Hook. That's the sky.
So this is the overworld? The air here smells different.
Less rust and geomarrow particles floating around. Take a deep breath, children. This is what freedom tastes like. I never thought I'd live to see the administrative district again. All those years. We've been through a lot, Natasha.
You're right, Oleg. It's funny. The moment I boarded the cable car, my mind was filled with everything I wanted to do on the surface. But now, I just want to sit down, zone out, and watch the people coming and going. And let the day just pass me by.
Enjoy the peace and quiet, Natasha. We earned it.
Welcome back to the administrative district, Trailblazers.
Trailblazers. First time anyone's called us that on this planet.
Please allow me to apologize again for what happened in the restricted zone. You were only trying to help. I should have trusted Serval's judgment.
People of Belobog, hear me! Today we gather here to celebrate our victory, but it was a sacrifice made by a mighty guardian that delivered us this opportunity. She dispelled an evil that cost us 700 years of suffering. And in the process, she paid the ultimate price. The sacrifice of Cookholia Rand ushers in a new chapter. The blizzard beyond the walls will die away, and the offensives of our Silvermane guards will begin to contain the Fragmentum's advance. In the far north, I witnessed with my own eyes the struggle between the late Supreme Guardian and the evil power that sought to destroy us. In her last moments, the Supreme Guardian told me her greatest regret. The order to seal off the underworld from the overworld. With the passage of time, she gradually came to realize the consequences of that decision. Although tortured with guilt, she could not undo the damage. In her final moments, she wanted us to mark the Stellaron's end by reuniting Belobog. Overworlders and Underworlders must embrace the dawn of a new age. Together. People of the Underworld, I dare not ask for your forgiveness. I now know the reality of your decade of suffering, but I want us to work together. We know that without your perseverance and hard work, Belobog will not recover its former glory, and the seed of civilization will not be preserved. And on that note, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to a few guests of the city. Most of you were not aware of their arrival, but it is thanks to them that our world now flourishes with hope. They made me realize that while we remain focused on preserving the ground beneath our feet, we should not forget to look up into the sky. I firmly believe that with the determination of everyone, our world, the world the Trailblazers call Yarilo 6, will no longer be alone among the stars. But before we accomplish that goal, I humbly ask you to follow me into the future. I, Bronyia Rand, the 19th Guardian of Belobog, hereby take my oath.
Lady Bronyia! Lady Bronyia! Long live Belobog!
Bronyia, we're back!
March, Don Hung, and you. It's wonderful you made it to the address. Sorry, I know the invitation was very last minute, but I needed to get the news out as soon as possible. The longer people waited, the more rumors started to swirl. The situation risked spinning out of control.
That was some speech, Bronyia. If I had to talk like that in front of a huge crowd, I'd be shaking head to toe.
It was all just a bunch of palatable lies. I hope you never have a similar experience, March. I prefer to be honest with the people, but I also want to preserve their hope.
Don Hung, wanna talk about Mr. Yang's findings?
Allow me to explain.
Which means the fragmentum has already taken root by this point. Even though the Stellaron is sealed, we won't be able to reverse the damage immediately. You've gone out of your way to save this world. You nearly lost your life. I have no right to ask for more. Besides, I agree with Mr. Yang. Ultimately, the fate of Belobog is in the hands of its own people. In that case, as a leader, I must give you a promise of the same weight. We will hold out with everything we have until the day you Trailblazers return. Even if it takes another 700 years, the children of Yarilo 6 will look up to the sky with hope in their hearts. So long, my friends.
At the end of your journey, all that perplexes you and troubles you will resolve.
Oh, it was a close thing, all right. Good thing it dawned on me. Hey, Samboo doesn't have to be a protagonist, right? The likes of us are better suited to, shadowy comic relief, eh? Turns out the Astral Express crew is more fun than I expected. You liked it? Really? Told you so. No! I'm in no hurry to leave. What? Oh, Epsilon? What fun can you get out of a giant Vanity Fair like that? True happiness always entails the manifestation of the dignity of mankind. Now, that's a quote I live by. Well, bye for now. Send my regards to the guys and girls in the tavern. Oh, and don't forget to say that Sempo Kasky will catch them for the next one. Time to make my curtain call. To you, my dear audience, I dedicate my performance. I wonder, did I bring a little more joy into your lives? You don't have to answer that. But if the answer is no, then you'll break my heart.
Priorities? What do you mean? Are you saying rebuilding the underworld isn't one of your priorities?
Of course not. I'm just saying we have limited assets and we need new parameters.
Assets, parameters. You sure love your fancy words. Forget it. Leave it to me. I'll go down myself.
Come on, Sela. I won't leave you to—
Look, Bronyia! There'll be plenty of difficulties waiting for them, right?
Yes. Their future is filled with even more uncertainty than ours. But we will prevail here, even if it means arguments like this go on forever.
They won't go on forever if I win them.
Welcome home, you three.
Himeko, Mr. Yang! Team Trailblaze back from duty. Mission 1 accomplished.
Although Welt and I didn't get the chance to go with you, I can tell you worked hard to bring things back to normal. Well done, everybody. And especially you. I heard a lot of good things about you.
Get some rest on the Express. Urilo 6 was not an easy ride. Pom-Pom is of the opinion that we should leave as soon as possible to avoid potential resurgences of the anomalies we experienced earlier. Himeko and I agree.
Which means we need to decide where our next destination is, soon.
That's right.
That's the path of the Nameless, I presume. Always on the road, always trailblazing. I'm not complaining, by the way. One adventure after another, that's exactly what I signed up for.
Looks like March has fallen in love with the way of the Nameless. That's good to hear. You can head back to your rooms for some rest, or stay here and make yourselves a cup of coffee, whichever you like.
I'll head back to my room then.
There I was thinking this guy would gradually open up.
We need to give him some time, March. I think he treasures the time spent with you guys. About your battle against the Supreme Guardian and the whole Stellaron situation, you must have a lot of unanswered questions, I suppose. While you were away, Welt and I did some research and came to some interesting conclusions. Let me know if you want to ask about anything. Klapoth the Preservation is known for their indifference. Unless you become a zealot like those with the corporation, it's hard to share in the Eon's power. Determined to preserve the world they loved, the architects held on for hundreds of years. But as the Fragmentum continued to advance, their already wavering faith started to show some cracks. And one particular guardian, Wokoolia, abandoned the path of preservation altogether. In contrast, you stood your ground and proved your faith in the Amber Lord. Judging by how the battle turned out, Klapoth responded to your wish. Their gaze infused you with the power to wield the weapon of a supreme guardian and to take control of the Colossus. What I've gathered so far suggests it's likely that the Supreme Guardian was corrupted by the Stellaron at a very young age. All the tragedies that came after can be traced to that point. On the flip side, we can't judge Wokoolia too harshly. Imagine if it were you or me who had to sit on the throne and watch the city slowly being brought to its knees. Would we not question what we believed in? It's virtually impossible to destroy a Stellaron. No one, not even Herta, has found a way to break its structure. The best we can do at this stage is to prevent its energy from overflowing. When the Supreme Guardian was defeated, the Stellaron that had been transmitting energy to her exposed its weakness to us for a brief period of time, allowing Welt and I to contain its power. That's about all we can do about a Stellaron. It may be suppressed for now, but it's only a matter of time before it regains power. But this brief window should allow the people on this planet to heal and rebuild.
As I've mentioned before, the Stellaron's influence on Urilo 6 is more profound than we might think. I don't think Belobog's fight against the lingering effects of the Stellaron will end anytime soon. But the balance of power is tilting ever so slightly towards humanity, the crucial factor being the hope you brought about. As intangible as it may sound, don't underestimate hope, because the power it inspires has no limit. Like the Stellaron, it's a seed that may grow into something much bigger. But, in my opinion, the fruit that hope bears will have a much bigger impact than that of the Stellaron. I remember a distant world where the people were faced with unimaginable danger every single day. But they saved their planet time after time with wisdom and courage. This goes to show how much of a difference ordinary people can make. I hope Eurilo 6 sees that too. Get some sleep. We'll be heading off again soon.